Josh Allen from GAK.co.uk here with a new GAK Vision video for you guys to enjoy. Sorry if I sound a bit raspy. I've actually got one hell of a cold and I'm battling it as we speak, but we soldier on to check out the brand new Boss Katana. Today we've got the 50 watt amp, so let me tell you about it. So essentially, the Katana series of amplifiers is Boss's new range of amplifiers. What I have with me today, what Boss have kindly sent me, is the Katana 50 to do a demonstration on today. So let's take a look at the front panel. So as we always do, we're going to start from the far left here, well my left anyway. So on the far left here, we have our 5 main amp type group here. So it goes through from acoustic, clean sounds, crunch sounds, lead sounds, and the brown sound. That's it, the brown sound. So those are amp types, and then within our amp types section, which is the amplifier section, we have our gain knob, and then we have our volume. So this is essentially like the preamp volume and the gain for the front end stage. Then you move on to the equalizer, which is your 3-band EQ essentially. You've got your bass, you've got your middle, and you've got your treble. And then we move on to the effects section, which is incredibly laid out. Ease of use is absolutely fantastic. The good thing is the amps come with this factory effects set section on this front panel here. Just a card that tells you about some bits that the amp can do and comes with. And it walks you through the 3-button system here really easily. So for instance, when you're on the first section here, it's a boost and modulation. So each section has the green, red, and orange. So just for example, if I was on a clean sound and I turned this and I wanted it to be, as you can see, it's illuminated orange there, which is for distortion. I cycle through for green for the blues drive. I cycle through to the red for the overdrive, and then you have your orange for the distortion. And then you move into the modulation section. As you can see, there is a cutoff point. So that is your maximum overdrive, and then you move into the modulation section, and you have, once again, it starts off on green, which is your chorus, red, which is your flanger, and orange, which is your phaser. So it's an incredibly user-friendly amplifier, and it does it through to the delay effects as well. So you've got delay, which is, you've got green, which is your delay, then you've got red, which is an analog delay, and then you have orange, which is a tape echo, and green is a digital delay. And when you move into the effects section, which is as easy as that, as you can see, it's on orange at the moment, which would be the octave, and then green, which is the tremolo, and red, which is the wah. So let's just dive that back down. And as you can see, the button starts flashing with the delay, which is awesome because you actually have a tap tempo button on there as well. So I'm just going to stick that to green for ready for use. And then on the far right, you have our reverb, which you can cycle between 3 different types of reverb. You've got plate, spring, and hall, starting off green, plate, red, spring, and then orange hall. And then on the far right, you have our tone settings, which is channel 1 and channel 2, which is essentially a section where you can save, you can take a photograph of your settings essentially and save them into those two, channel 1 and channel 2. The cool thing about it is that you have a customizable multi-effect system. When online, you have a, there's over 50 different Boss effects types available within, like with a USB, you can actually customize, put them onto the USB, and then they can go onto the amplifier, which is called the Tone Studio. And 15 of those customizable effects can be stored on the amplifier, which is really, really good. It opens up a massive sort of area for you to go in and customize your own sounds and customize your own sort of effects and put them onto the amplifier, which is awesome. And then obviously, as you can see at the far right, you've got the power control, which goes down from standby, which is obviously nothing, to 0.5 all the way up to 50 watts. I've got mine set onto 50 watts at the moment because I wanted the full amount of clean headroom. Just so we could see what it sounds like. As I said before, this is the 50 watt and it has a 12-inch speaker in this bad boy, which is really, really nice. And it has a built tilt stand as well. So if you're playing a live show with this amplifier, you can sort of fold out the back, tilt it up so that you can hear it, as well as it being mic'd up. So that's the front panel. Let me talk you through the instruments I'll be using. I wanted to grab a guitar that could obviously cover every single thing. And what we have here is a American Elite Series Stratocaster humbucker single with the Shawbucker in the bridge. compound radius, really nice and easy to play, locking tuners. So it's a really great guitar to cover everything. And then I actually bought in my own personal guitar today. This is my Jackson. This is a USA built one. It's got some EMGs in it and it's in this rather fetching tiger finish. So I wanted to grab one guitar, this one here, that could cover everything, and I wanted to show you that the guitar amp can actually go into the full realms of sort of the heavier stuff as well. So let's get to seeing what it sounds like. So I've got it set to the clean channel at first, and all we're going to do is we're going to cycle through the different amp types, and we're going to add some effects, take away some effects, and just see how it works and see how it sounds. For the clean channel to start off with, I've got the Strat set to the neck pickup, and this is nothing on it. This is no effects, nothing running, 50 watts, just the clean sound. All the EQ is at 12 o'clock. Let's see. So as you can hear, really transparent, really beautiful sounding clean sound. Really into everything that Roland has brought out recently in their amplifier side of things. The clean channels have always been spot on. So as I said with the effects side of things, it is as easy as turning the knobs really. So if I wanted to add a touch of reverb, I just reach over and I turn it on, and then you have the green signal which has come up first, which is our plate reverb. So let's see what that sounds like. And obviously you can affect the amount that you want to add. So just to keep it at that extreme level so you can hear what the different types of reverb are. That was the plate. This is the spring reverb here. And then obviously you have the all-encompassing sound of the hall reverb. But obviously they can be used in a much more musical sense. I'm just showing you the amount of reverb that you can actually have on tap there. So let's just move it back to the plate. Actually, let's keep it on spring. And then just dial it back a touch. Obviously the same occurs with the modulation and booster side of things as well. Say I really like that sound. But I wanted to add a little something more on the grittiness sort of side of things. All I have to do is reach for the booster section and just turn it. As you can see straight away, the distortion has been added, but I don't want anything that aggressive. Just hit to the button there and it turns to the green sound, and then automatically you have this. As again, even if that's still too much, you can just dial off. So you have a lot to mess around with there. So say for instance the distortion side of things on the orange, it can be a very aggressive, and this is on the clean channel. So there is a lot to play with on this amplifier, which is really, really cool. So let's check out some of the modulation features on this amplifier. Let me just turn the reverb off. So first off, we have the green channel, which is the chorus. So all you do is you move it into the modulation setting, select green, and you'll have your chorus. And obviously the furiosity of the chorus can be changed by just cranking up the modulation effect. So very, very cool indeed. And then you move on to things like Flanger. So all you do is just hit the button there and it moves into the red section. Turn the effect down, get slower. And then obviously on the final modulation section, you have your phaser. So, you know, there's a lot there. And that's only the first knob. So you've got 3 different types of booster and 3 different types of modulation to mess around with just on the first section there. So let's turn that off. And then we move on to the sort of the delay and effects section. I really, really like one of these on here, which is an incredibly expressive mod on the effects side of things, which is the octave section. So all I do is I turn this knob, move into the next stage, which is past the little marker there, hit orange, so it moves on to the octave, and there I have it. I've got the octave tone. And obviously I can make it more prominent. So the tracking is tremendous. So incredibly expressive sort of effect on this amplifier. I really, really like it. And then you've got the others. You've got tremolo and you've got wah as well. The wah is also a very fun feature. So there's a lot of expressiveness to be messed around with there. And then finally on the far right you have your reverb, and we've already had a touch on those sections. So that's a complete sort of little rundown on that section, the effects section. So now that you know how to control it and what they sound like, we can have a mess around with the different ad models. So we've been messing around with clean. Let's move on to crunch and see what that mod sounds like. So a really, really big crunch sound. Obviously that's once again with all the effects turned down. So I'm just going to back off on the treble, bring the mids up and the bass down. Just wanted to warm it up a slight touch. So say if we wanted that to be our rhythm tone, but we also wanted that channel for a lead tone, but we wanted a touch more other than putting a sort of a pedal in front of the amplifier. So all we do is we just choose which booster we want to use. I want to use the overdrive just so it's not too overbearing. See how that sounds. That sounds absolutely awesome. But say I want a bit less, I'm going to move to the green channel, which is just our blues drive there. I want a touch of reverb, and I want a bit of delay as well. And I want to use the analog delay, so I'm going to switch from green to red. I'm going to tap the tempo in. 1, 2, 3, 4, just a little bit slower. And as you can hear, the trail is slightly there. And there you go. I've got just a straight up lead tone that I like. As you can hear the analog delay, it almost has a slight bend to it, like a little bit of modulation to it. So all you have to do to turn those off is just turn them off, just turn them down and the lights come off. So it's as easy as that, really. So as I said, that's the crunch sound. Let's move on to the lead sound. So the cool thing about this channel that I really like is the fact that, not just because I'm a game fanatic, but the point of it is that you're able to turn the guitar down and the amp cleans up really nicely. So this is how much drive I have on the lead channel at the moment. So as you can hear, an incredibly diverse channel, being able to utilize the volume on your guitar to really clean up the amplifier, but it actually does still sound good and there's no sort of volume drop. It's just a really, really tidy sounding channel. But you can really use it for, as the name states, a lead channel as well. So for instance, that's how much gain I have on it at the moment, which is more than enough. But if you wanted to really, really make it a super, super saturated lead tone, you can add one of the 3 pedals in front as well. I'm going to use the blues drive because I don't want anything too much because there's already a lot of gain on there. I'm going to add a bit of delay. I really like the analog delay, so I'm going to stick with that model there. And we're going to add a touch of reverb as well. And we're going to use the spring as well, because I think that's a great sounding reverb. So this is what we have. I think there can be a touch more delay in there. I'm going to slow it right down as well. See where the trail leaves us. So as you can hear, it's there now. I'm just going to bring it down a touch, and that should be right. Trail still going. So as you can hear, the lead channel sounds wicked. A very, very diverse channel. You can use it as your full-on gain channel. You can back off on the volume and use it as a rhythm, and then you can add the delay and reverbs and whatever other bits you wanted to make it a super, super saturated, shredded lead tone. So let's just turn those bits down there. And the final channel we have is the brown sound channel. This is a really, really good sounding channel. Roland and Boss have really honed in on this brown sound thing that they've been going for, and I think they've got it right. So let's see what this sounds like. This is just straight up, no effects. So a really organic sounding channel, really real sounding. That's what I love about it. And because it's organic and because it sounds so real, you get the effect of your playing really does want to play, you want to play a little bit better, only because it does sound real. So let's add some bits to it. So once again, we just have that standard. Let me just show you what it sounds like when you back off. Let's say we wanted to get that massive arena sounding sort of tone there. Let's use the hall section. So we're going to put that to orange, see where we are. So we've got a big old reverb going there. Let's add a touch of delay. Let's go with a digital delay just to change it up a bit. Let's tap it really big. So we've got a really long trail there. So we're going to massive sounding sort of arena rock sound now. So you can really achieve anything on this amplifier. I really think it's a great sounding piece of gear. Especially coming up with all of these digital amplifiers that are running around at the moment. I really think the Boss have hit the nail on the head with everything that they've been releasing so far. And this amp is a true testament to what they're capable of. So that was going through all the different settings with, say, something like the Fender Strat. Let me grab my Jackson and I'll show you how much gain you can get out of it if you wanted to play the other side of things. Not just the clean stuff or the sort of low gain stuff with a single coil, but what humbuckers and especially EMGs can do to this amplifier. So this is my personal guitar. This is my Jackson right here, which I actually purchased from our store. The cool thing about this guitar is that we sell any USA Jackson and custom shop guitars. So if there was anything like something like this that you wanted to custom up yourself, go into the store, talk to the guys, and they'd be more than happy to send a spec sheet off to the guys at Jackson. We have a selection of really, really cool USA custom shops in store at the moment right now as well. So make sure you go check them out. So what I've done is, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you the capabilities of how aggressive this amp could be with a guitar like this. So this is the lead channel. This is no effects, nothing on that. This is just what it sounds like. The guitar is in drop C at the moment. So there's already a lot of drive there, but it's good for a rhythm channel. But if you wanted that bit more chunk to your sound, all you have to do is do something like this. So you can grab this button here. As we see, we've got the green, which is the blues drive. I'm just going to switch that to the red, which is the overdrive. And that will show us how much you can actually get out of the amplifier. So the main thing I wanted to show you, the reason why I'd done this was because I wanted to show you the bottom end response. There is so much there that it allows you to really sort of, you know, dig in and get your gurn face on. So there is a lot of bass response there. And especially if you start using stuff, if you start utilizing all the other effects as well. So we've got the analog delay selected now. Let's slow that right down. Bring the mix down a touch so it feels as if it's in like an effects loop. So you can just hear it. So the amp covers everything. If you wanted to play blues, funk, jazz, metal, shreddy stuff, you could do whatever you wanted with this amp. So I hope you enjoyed the demo of the Katana. We have them in stock now, so make sure you come to the store and you check them out, give them a go for yourself. It's what I always say, but to really understand an amplifier, you really need to go down. You need to plug a guitar in that you like, and you need to try the amp out, and you will not be disappointed with Boss's new addition to their range. So I hope you enjoyed the demo, guys. Thank you very much.